The kitchen smelled faintly of cardamom and something sweet my mother had baked hours ago. My daughter sat across the table, coloring in a notebook, humming softly. My sister hovered near the counter, pretending to stir tea, but I knew she was listening. "You know," my mother said, her voice light but pointed, "your niece is so advanced. It's obvious who got the brains." Daughter's pencil stopped mid-stroke. Her eyes flicked toward me, small and uncertain. She said nothing, but her silence was louder than words. I felt the old tug of irritation, the familiar pinch of comparison I'd carried for years. I caught myself, before saying something hasty, remembered all the times my mother had whispered between her teeth about who was more accomplished, more capable, more deserving. Remembered the dinners when I'd bite my tongue while my sister's achievements were quietly celebrated. But this time felt different. See my daughter processing every syllable, weighing her place in a world that sometimes measured people in inherited merit. Took a breath. "Great," I said slowly, letting the words stretch. "Then I'll let the brains handle the bills." There was a pause, the kind that presses against the skin. My sister froze, teacup halfway to her lips. My mother's hands stilled on the counter. No one laughed, no one spoke. The room held itself together by a fragile thread. I finished my coffee, set the cup down, left the automatic transfer to my sister unpaid. Just like that. It was a small thing, but it shifted the atmosphere like a slow, silent earthquake. No arguments erupted, no dramatic confrontations. Just an unspoken recalibration of who held responsibility and who did not. My daughter didn't comment. She returned to her notebook, her strokes a little steadier, more deliberate. I watched her, noting the flicker of understanding in her gaze. Sometimes dignity doesn't need a shout, and fairness doesn't require celebration. I remembered my own childhood, how I'd endured similar silences and comparisons, how each one had left a bruise that no one noticed. But I had learned something my younger self hadn't: confrontation could be quiet. Assertion could be subtle. Authority could exist without spectacle. Hours passed in measured conversation, polite smiles masking the shifting currents beneath the surface. My sister avoided looking at me directly. My mother busied herself with dishes, glancing at us occasionally, unsure what to say. No one needed to declare victory. The balance had already changed. Later, when my daughter asked about the canceled transfer, I explained gently, "Sometimes the right person handles something means we all learn a little respect along the way." She nodded, silent again, but her eyes carried a new awareness, a recognition of boundaries, of quiet leverage, of careful dignity. By evening, the house had settled into its usual rhythm, but something subtle had shifted. The comparisons would not vanish entirely, nor would the favoritism, but my voice and my action had carved a small space of respect. Space my daughter and I could inhabit without pretense, without waiting for permission. Felt the satisfaction of a victory that required no celebration. It was private, deliberate, and complete in its own way. My daughter watched, and I hoped she remembered. Not the words, not the transfer, but the way restraint can speak louder than any shout. The quiet settled over us, a soft acknowledgement that some things would remain unresolved. Yet, for once, I was certain of my position. That certainty was enough.